Pass and review during today's parade serves two functions for the commander. It dismisses the troops in an organized manner and, at the same time, provides an opportunity to inspect the state of discipline and training. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I would like to ask you to remain seated until the passing of the color guard and remain in the stands until the wing has completed their pass and review and been dismissed. The wing is led today by the Cadet Wing Commander, Cadet Colonel Jacob Yarwood of Bartlett, Illinois. Other members of his staff include the Vice Wing Commander, Cadet Colonel Howlett Koick of San Antonio, Texas, and the Wing Director of Operations, Cadet Colonel Young Woo of San Jose, California. Following wing staff is First Group, under the command of their Group Commander, Chris Carr of Annapolis, Maryland. Other members of Group staff include the Deputy Group Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Devin Payne of Memphis, Tennessee, and the Group Director of Operations, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel John Deacle of Whitehall, New York. Following the First Group staff are the squadrons of First Group. Leading off is Squadron 1, Mach 1, led by their Squadron Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Eric Holm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Next up is Squadron 2, Deuce, led by their Squadron Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Brian McSweeney from Tampa, Florida. Squadron 3, the Dogs of War, is led today by their Squadron Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Tyler Dietrich from Leesburg, Virginia. Squadron 4, the Fightin' Fourth, are led by their Squadron Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Derek Dieter from Frisco, Texas. Squadron 5, the Wolfpack, are led by their Squadron Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Eric Brito from El Paso, Texas. Bull 6 is led today by their Squadron Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Karen Wolf from Murrieta, California. Squadron 7, Shadow 7, is led today by their Squadron Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Kojiro Kobayashi from Manchester, Maine. Squadron 8, Eagle 8, is led today by their commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Christopher Block from Columbia, South Carolina. Viking 9 is led today by their Squadron Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel John Jacob from Houston, Texas. Last but not least for First Group is Squadron 10, Tiger 10, led by their Squadron Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jeremiah Revereza from Manila, Philippines. Following First Group is Second Group, under the command of their Group Commander, Cadet Colonel Santos Jayagopal of Shah Alam, Malaysia. Other members of Group staff include the Deputy Group Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Eric Anderson of Colorado Springs, Colorado, and the Group Executive Officer, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Richard Araya Jr. of Queens, New York. Following Second Group are the squadrons of Second Group. Cadet Squadron 11, Rebel 11, led by their Squadron Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Bradley from Arlington, Texas. Squadron 12, the Dirty Dozen, is led today by their Squadron Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Adam Ply from Greensboro, North Carolina. The Bulldogs of Squadron 13 are led today by Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Travis Edwards of Stuart, Florida. The Cobras of Squadron 14 are led today by their Squadron Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Cooper of Fountain Inn, South Carolina. The Mighty War Eagles of CS-15 are led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Mason Thatcher of Salt Lake City, Utah. Squadron 16, the Chicken Hawks, are led today by their squadron director of operations, Cadet Major Kevin Fanter of Hidden Halls, Idaho. Squadron 17, Stalag 17, is led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Kyle Brandt of Medford, New Jersey. The Night Riders of Squadron 18 are led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Zachary Campbell of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Cadet Squadron 19, the Wolverines, are led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Geekus from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Rounding out second group are the Trolls of Squadron 20, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Kiara McCarthy from Plymouth, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and render the appropriate courtesies as our nation's colors pass in review. Our colors are being presented by the United States Air Force Academy Cadet Wing Color Guard under the commander of Cadet Second Class Noah Vincent. Following the color guide is the Unit Colors Flag Mass, led today by C2C Darian Johnson of Reidsville, North Carolina. The flag mass includes the unit colors from each cadet squadron's sponsor base.
Thank you. Please be seated. Following the flag mass is third group, under the command of their group commander, Peyton Milligan of Lee Summit, Missouri. Other members of the group staff include the Deputy Group Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jose Martinez of Claremore, Oklahoma, and the Group Director of Operations, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Cody Decker of Random Lake, Wisconsin. Following the group staff are the squadrons of third group. Up first is Cadet Squadron 21, the Blackjacks, led by their Bravo Flight Commander, Cadet Captain Mitch Rose of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Up next are the Raptors of Cadet Squadron 22, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Casey Bourne of Mos Eisley, Arizona. Up next are the Barnstormers of Cadet Squadron 23, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Maria Voldakovich of Seattle, Washington. Behind them are the Phantoms of Cadet Squadron 24, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Kopp of Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. Up next are the Red Eye of Cadet Squadron 25, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Peter Chandler of Annandale, Virginia. Up next is Cadet Squadron 26, the Barons, under the command of their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Dallas Moore of Crestwood, Kentucky. Up next are the Thunderbirds of Cadet Squadron 27, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Nicole Foster of Ackworth, Georgia. Behind them are the Blackbirds of Cadet Squadron 28, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Rico Hilliard of Washington, D.C. Behind them are the Black Panthers of Cadet Squadron 29, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Sarah Falvey of Plymouth, Michigan. And rounding out third group are the Knights of 30, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Alexia Rochester of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Following third group is fourth group, under the command of their group commander, Cadet Colonel Kelly Lujan of Reno, Nevada. Other members of the group staff include the Deputy Group Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Sarah Foch of Brookfield, Wisconsin, and the Group Director of Operations, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Patrick Mayo of Plant City, Florida. Following the group staff are the squadrons of 4th Group. Up first is Cadet Squadron 31, the Grim Reapers, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Crystal Passione of Longwood, Florida. Coming behind them are the Roadrunners of Cadet Squadron 32, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Ermitano of Tamaning, Guam. Behind them are the King Rats of Cadet Squadron 33, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Fisher Bertkey of Dublin, Ohio. Up next are the Loose Hogs of Cadet Squadron 34, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Warren Metcalf of Greer, South Carolina. Behind them are the Wild Weasels of Cadet Squadron 35, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Dane Grower of Killingly, Connecticut. Up next are the Pink Panthers of Cadet Squadron 36, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Villarreal of Ridgecrest, California. Behind them are the Sky Raiders of Cadet Squadron 37, led by their support officer, Cadet Captain Tierra Franklin of St. Louis, Missouri. Behind them are the All-Stars of Cadet Squadron 38, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Alec Fetzer of Cleveland, Ohio. Behind them are the Jedi Knights of Cadet Squadron 39, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Hollowell of Westerville, Ohio. And finishing off the cadet wing are the Warhawks of Cadet Squadron 40, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Christina McMillan of O'Fallon, Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the Air Force song. Today's musical support is being provided by the United States Air Force Academy Band, led by their commander, Captain Sean T. Simon, and their drum major, Master Sergeant Alejandro Vieira. This concludes today's Tuskegee Airmen Parade. The United States Air Force Academy Cadet Wing appreciates your attendance. The luncheon will begin promptly in the Arnold Hall Ballroom. Have a great Air Force Day.